Canada's new wave of 500,000 immigrants is messing up the housing market. But at least their tax dollars are going to go towards things like fixing potholes in the healthcare system, right? Think again. There's a new study that shows a massive drop in immigrants filing their taxes. The government has noticed that immigrants that have filed for permanent residency are not sending in their taxes at all. Now, is this because they don't plan on staying in Canada like we're seeing with massive rates of reverse immigration? So what's the point of paying taxes at all? Or is it that their home countries don't really care about taxes either, so they just think, I'll do the same thing here? Let's break this down and explore exactly how this is breaking the Canadian economy. All right, so in a new StatsCan study, it shows that after 2019, new immigrants are not filing their taxes as much as they were before. Now, in the past, new immigrants and those applying for permanent residency filed their taxes at a 91% rate. 91% of people were filing their taxes properly. That number is down from 2019 to now to 85%. I mean, imagine if you or I didn't pay your taxes, we wouldn't just get away with it scot-free. That is for sure. I mean, I myself as an entrepreneur try and pay the least amount of taxes the legal way by investing in things, buying property, write-offs to build my business. Those are proper channels to not pay taxes. But to not pay taxes, period, it's pretty gangster. Now, this study goes on to break down that 1 in 7 immigrants have no tax filing from 2020 and after. Now, there could be various reasons for this. Maybe they're not working. Maybe they came to this country with money, and because of the pandemic, they're still just trying to find their footing and chilling out. Or they're actually working in the economy and giving Trudeau the old one of these. Now let's also discuss the fact that maybe these new immigrants don't understand what they're supposed to do and that they're supposed to pay taxes and file their taxes and all the good stuff we do here in the West. I mean, they are coming from countries that are really shady. There's no government. It's all corruption. Lots of side jobs, lots of cash deals. There's no taxes to be filed. So maybe we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they're coming from a country where they're uneducated on taxes, coming to Canada and thinking, hey, this is what you do here as well. Now I know you're probably thinking that's crazy. How can anybody think that? There's a case to be made that maybe they're just not educated on how the system works here in the West and in Canada, that you must file your taxes, or else Uncle Sam, or the Canadian version of Uncle Sam, I don't know who that would even be, Tiff Macklem? They're coming after you for that money. And you also have to bear in mind that the advertising to bring all these immigrants over, all the marketing, all the shady legal counsel probably isn't telling them the full story of how it works here in Canada. I mean, we already know that the universities and colleges are totally abusing the system, doing whatever they can to bring immigrants over because those colleges make way more money when an international student pays for tuition as opposed to a Canadian. So they're saying whatever they got to say. Yeah, come to Canada. It's an amazing country. The Canadian dream, the dream of home ownership. You can have a family here. It's affordable. They're saying whatever they got to say to bring them over. Now, that may be the case. In fact, we know it's the case that these immigration recruiters, I don't know what to even call them, are definitely spitting fallacies and fairy dust on the picture of what life looks here in Canada, and they might very well be leaving out the fact that, hey, you got to file your taxes, a T4, a T4A if you're self-employed. They're not talking about that stuff. That's too technical. They're talking about all the good stuff. Yeah, come to Canada. It's a great country. It's safe. And they're leaving out the important part of you can't do cash deals. You got to pay your taxes. Now, talking about cash jobs, this might also be a reason why the filing rate is so low among immigrants and new immigrant permanent residents, because they're doing cash jobs. Let's be real. They're coming from another country. Maybe they barely speak English. They're trying to get a job the legit way in the economy, and employers are just like, no, instead of hiring you because I can barely understand you, I'm going to hire Ryan. No. Don't get offended. This is not racism. It's capitalism. I mean, this is Canada. It's like literally one of the least racist countries in the world. But if I have two applicants, one that barely speaks English or no English at all, and Ryan over here who speaks perfect English and he can take orders and do what I tell him to do, I'm probably going to hire Ryan. It's not a racist thing. It's an easy thing to conduct business. So these new immigrants might be coming over here with little skills, no skills, maybe a lot of skills, but they're having a hard time finding a T4 job, a proper job. So they end up doing cash jobs. Maybe they work construction. Maybe they drive for Uber or some sort of taxi service. Maybe they help a photographer on the side, something. They're getting paid cash. And when you're getting paid cash, there's no real record of you receiving that money. So why would I file money to Trudeau? So there's a lot of things going on here that we got to take into account before we just say, these immigrants are coming here and they're avoiding taxes on purpose. Maybe they are. Maybe a lot of them are. Maybe they're not. And maybe the other part of this is they don't really fear the consequences like we would as a Canadian citizen. A born Canadian citizen where we're in the system, we got to apply by the rules. I mean, Canada and the immigration sector is basically begging these people to come here. They feel like kings and queens. I don't know. They're rolling out the red carpet for all these immigrants, which can be great. This is not an anti-immigration channel. Immigration is fantastic for our economy and fantastic for our GDP. You've heard me say that a million times, so don't get it twisted. Now, the reality is immigration helps the economy and the GDP specifically so much in Canada that it's making us look like we're not in a recession because it's propping up the numbers, but we know per capita we are in a serious GDP recession. But that is for tons of other videos that I've already made. The gist of that is bringing more immigrants, good for the economy. Less immigrants, not good for the economy. That's all you got to remember. But these immigrants and these new permanent residents might feel like there's no consequences, like they're kind of invincible. Because what are they going to do? Put them on a plane and ship them back? They're not going to do that, and they know that. Now, the other reason why the tax filings might be so low is because our tax system is pretty complicated, especially if you're coming from a country that has zero tax structure, zero rules about anything, everything's cash, and you're coming over here, it can be overwhelming. I mean, most Canadians I know can barely file their taxes, and they hire someone from HSBC or maybe even an accountant to file their taxes for them because it's way too fucking complicated. I mean, you can get U-File or U-Tax or whatever the hell those programs are at Staples and go through your taxes yourself, but it's still pretty complicated. And again, if you barely speak English, you're coming from a country with zero rules and you're getting thrown into this, you're just like, dude, this is way too much. I'm not doing none of this. Let's see how far I can get away without being caught. All to say, the media and the news is all bad, fear. And it might be a serious problem here. Or we got to give some of these people the benefit of the doubt. Like I just said, they don't know. They barely speak English. The system here is so complicated. They're trying to figure out housing. They're trying to figure out how to clothe their kids. They got a million things going on in their head. Filing their taxes on the fucking $8,000 they made working at Subway or some shit isn't top of mind. That might be the case. But regardless, this is kind of damaging to the economy. No. This is less money being raised for the economy. Now, we know Trudeau and the government is going to waste that fucking money anyway. So good on you. Don't pay your fucking taxes. No. That's not financial advice. That is a lie. Pay your taxes. But you know what I mean. So how do we get around this? How do we get around the crazy high tax structure in Canada? You guys hear me complain about taxes all the time, especially in Canada, which is literally stifling and crushing the economy. Why? It's not incentivizing people to do business, to start businesses, to hire more employees, to buy more real estate, to build more real estate, which you guys know we're in a massive housing crisis, and I believe it's all at the fault of anti-capitalism. The government and the regulations are too much in the way, making it too hard for the private sector to come up, start building these houses, start starting businesses, and kickstarting our economy, unlike America, our neighbors to the south, where their GDP is like 4 to 5% so far for 2023. That is absolutely insane. Their economy is firing on all cylinders while ours is flat. 2023 had a net flat zero GDP. But again, if you strip out the immigration boost, which is massive, we're actually negative GDP. We're actually in an economic recession, actually in real life, when right now, anyway, the U.S. is just kicking ass. Now, we know those numbers are kind of phony as well. The economic recession is coming to the U.S. as well. That is for sure. But we're getting our asses kicked hardcore. And that is because we are an anti-capitalism country. We just are. So what's the solution? This channel is all about solutions, how to build your wealth, how to build your investing portfolio. The reality is you got to go where the money flows the easiest. Now, this is something I realized about 2 years ago after buying 150 properties all here in Canada. I'm a self-made multimillionaire. Started off as a carpenter right after high school, started my own business renovating properties, became a realtor, became a real estate investor, grew this thing like crazy. I did not grow up in a wealthy family. In fact, it was the total opposite. So when you're talking to me, you're talking to a blue-collar boy who started from fucking nothing and built all of this and learned as I went and learning the economy and how the tax system works. And the tax system in Canada is absolutely atrocious, which is why we're now focusing completely and no longer buying long-term rental properties in Canada, and we're moving down to the U.S. with our partners looking to buy more real estate. Prices are way cheaper. Cash flow is way higher. The rules and regulations are so much better for a landlord, unlike Ontario, where the tenants rule the world. They can do whatever the hell they want and get away with it. In America, it ain't the case for a lot of the states we're investing in. And most importantly, taxes are way lower. Why? The government understands that the private sector runs the friggin' world. They run the economy. So if you can put more money back in their pocket, less rules, less regulation, they're going to invest more. They're going to hire more employees, build their businesses. And that's exactly what we're seeing play out right now in real time. What a perfect experiment to see in real time. The Canadian economy shrinking, the American economy doing just fine. Especially considering the high interest rate environment and what's going on, the economy down there is still kicking ass. So like I said, put your money where it flows the easiest. So if you want to find out more about that, check the pinned comment below where I can give you all of my free guides, like investing in the US as a Canadian. You'll learn everything, and dude, it's so simple to invest there. Trust me, it's not complicated. You also get my guide on how to raise capital like I do and build this business to attract joint venture partners to invest more, and a bunch of other guides that you can get access to. So check that pinned comment out below, fill your email out. I'll send you that shit right away, and I'll see you in the next video.